Please stand and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Announcement of the Sunshine Law. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, it is hereby announced and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by the following: posted on the bulletin board of the office of the township clerk, posted on the bulletin boards within the municipal complex, printed in the Home News Tribune and Cranberry Press on December 26, 2025, posted on the Monroe Township website, and sent to those individuals who have requested personal notice. Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Mr. Masters?
Here.
Mr. Lupo?
Here.
Mr. Busman? Ms. Caratori? Mr. Tanzi? Mr. Jaffe?
Here.
Mr. Cole?
Here.
Mr. Jadis?
Here.
Mr. Pagani?
Here.
Ms. Bitterman? Here. Chairman LaFata?
Here. In the absence of Mr. Busman and Ms. Katori, Mr. Cole and Mr. Gudici are full voting members this evening. Okay. Meetings, minutes from last month's meeting. Do I have an approval?
I'll move it.
Mr. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Yeah, you want to do the carry first? Or the mechanics? Okay.
So what's it getting carried for? It's the May 27th?
May 26.
May 26th?
Yep.
So just the first three applications on the agenda tonight will be heard, but we had a request that BA 5241-23. Better? 557 Franklin Plaza Realty LLC will be carried to the board's May 26, 2026 meeting. The applicant did publish and mail notices in advance of tonight's meeting, so the applicant will not be required to notice or in connection with that adjourned hearing. So BA 524123, 557 Franklin Plaza Realty LLC will be heard at the board's May 26, 2026 meeting at 6:30 in this room.
Thank you.
Got it.
Application BA-5260-25, Mohit Construction and Renovations.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, good evening. Jared Pape on behalf of the applicant, Mohit Constructions and Renovations LLC. As the board will recall, this matter was carried from the March 31st hearing so that the applicant could address the comments that were raised by the board and its professionals before being asked to vote. A resubmission was made on April 10th. We are here this evening to confirm that the outstanding items have been addressed and respectfully request that the board act on the application, granting amended preliminary and final site plan approval together with bulk variance relief as previously presented on the record. I will briefly highlight the key revisions made in response to the board's comments. And I'll also note that our client's professionals, Sharif Ali, the design engineer, Steve Radasti, architect, and Mark Remza, planner, are available this evening if there are any further questions. And they're also available to reference exhibits as needed. So just to highlight the revisions, first, the truck turning template has been revised to eliminate the conflict between the delivery vehicle and the adjacent parking spaces that was identified at the last hearing. That's shown in the revised exhibit, the delivery truck circulation exhibit plan prepared by Amertech Engineering, last revised April 7th, 2026, which was part of the resubmission package. Second, with respect to the discussion on energy backup that was raised at the last meeting, The applicant's approach will ultimately depend on the final tenant or tenants, which has not been determined, so no final decision has been made at this time. That said, the plans have been revised to create some flexibility for the applicant. The architectural drawings have been designed to now designate optional rooftop solar panels. There's a new sheet that was provided in the resubmission showing those solar panels on the rooftop. Further, there's should the applicant choose to go with solar as well as battery backup for solar, which was discussed at the last hearing, our client's architect did some research and found that for commercial solar batteries, those would be stored inside in a mechanical room, properly ventilated, subject to all building and codes and fire codes. So that's now designated as on the plans. Alternatively, or perhaps in addition, the site plan now also shows a pad for a traditional generator, should the applicant choose to go with that route. The traditional generator pad is shown behind the refuse area and is screened by landscaping. So that's, again, now shown on the plans that have been provided. So those are all just, none of those are requirements, or those are all just meant to provide flexibility for the applicant depending on who the ultimate owner is, or tenants are. So those are the principal revisions that we wanted to highlight. As mentioned, the applicant's professionals are here if there's any questions, but Mr. Chair, we would look to the board's professionals to confirm as to whether they're satisfied with the revisions that have been submitted to the board.
Okay. Christopher, we'll start off with you, if you don't mind, please.
Sure. We had issued an updated report just Friday. We sent it out, I think. It's essentially the same report as the previous one. We just noted we've received additional materials. I see we have the new truck turning template, and with the architecturals and the batteries would be stored in the building if they're even used for the solar. I don't really have any additional comments. I'll defer to Mark on for any review of the truck turning template. It's the same template as before, except now they're showing the truck does not clip any parking spaces, so I'll defer to the engineer on the legitimacy of this turning template to make sure that it's properly doing what it says it's doing. That was the concern, was that truck would turn and hit 3 parking spaces, and now they're showing that it won't.
Okay. Mark?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I did prepare in a third review letter, updated review letter of the recent submittals dated April 22nd, 2026. They have added a generator pad out on the plan. It does not create any variances. There's an optional solar panels are shown on the plan. I did review the turning template and the adjustments to the curb lines. I'm comfortable with what they've provided in their turning template plan. Dated or indicated delivery truck circulation exhibit plan. And we did have one question that I wasn't sure if it was addressed. Excuse me. Near the loading door of the building and the loading area, there was an overhang that the architectural plan showed, and there was a concern that the trucks would hit the overhang of the door. And if I can get clarification on that,
Sure.
if that was changed.
Have Mr. Radasti address that question? So,
And Mr. Radasti, if I could just swear you in quickly, if you could raise your right hand, you swear the testimony you're going to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
If you could state your name, spell your last name for the record again, and give us your address, please.
Stephen Radasti, RADOFTI, 379 Princeton Hightstown Road, Cranberry, New Jersey, 08512.
And Mr. Radasti, you previously appeared and qualified as an expert in the area of architecture before this board. Since last you so appeared and qualified, have your credentials been detrimentally affected at all?
Yes, I was qualified, and no, my credentials are the same.
And license is still in good standing?
Yes, it is.
Perfect.
We'll accept your credentials. Please proceed.
Thank you. So louder than I thought.
That's good.
So the roof over the loading area, originally it was 12'6", and we raised it up to have a minimum of 14-foot clear. That's over by the loading doors. So we did raise it up so we have at least 14-foot clear.
So you have a 14-foot clearance there.
That's correct.
And that'll be reflected on the architectural plans?
We do have it on the drawings. We added that to sheet CS2 on the south elevation. We moved it up and we added a note that's 14-foot clear. So south elevation number 2 on the left-hand side of the sheet.
Okay. I believe the one other sheet needed to be revised to reflect that.
We did raise
The
it
west
on all,
elevation?
we raised it on all 3 elevations, but I only put the dimension in one location. But we physically, if you scaled it, you could see the 12-foot ceiling is below that, and we've raised it up in all 3 elevations.
Okay, so the 12-foot dimension on the west elevation is actually the other side of the building. That's over the sidewalk, correct? In the upper right?
Correct. So it would be, if you looked at the left side of the east elevation, I'm sorry, the right side of the east elevation, the
That's the area
south
over,
elevation, and the, yes, and then the left side of the west elevation. So in all those cases, we moved
so
up.
it's 12 foot over the sidewalk area on the other side of the building and
Correct.
14-foot clearance in the loading area.
Correct.
Thank you for clarifying and apologize for missing that.
That's okay.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I have nothing further.
Thank you. Any board members have any questions, any follow-up questions, or anything to touch base on? Seeing there's none, I'm going to open this portion to the public. Anyone from the public wishing to be heard on this application, please come forth. Seeing there's none, I'll make a motion to close the public portion. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
A second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Public portion is closed. Board members, you have an application in front of us that was here last month. They made the corrections that I think we were seeking or requesting. Our professionals agreed with everything. Do we have a motion to approve or deny?
I'll make a motion to approve. And I'll second.
Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Mr. Masters?
Yes.
Mr. Lupo?
Yes.
Mr. Tanzi?
Yes.
Mr. Jaffe?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Judice?
Yes.
Chairman LaFata?
Yes.
Thank you all. Good night.
Next application, BA-5259-25, Jonathan DePiero.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Walter Toto on behalf of Jonathan DePiero. We did submit an affidavit of service and publication. I trust everything is in order.
I wouldn't let you be here if it wasn't.
I know you would
So
not,
everything is
Mr.
in order. The
Vignola.
board has jurisdiction to hear the application. Thank you for confirming, Mr. Toto.
I appreciate that, Mr. Vignola, very much so. So as I indicated, I'm here on behalf of the applicant, Jonathan DePiero. The owners of the property are Beth and Charles DePiero. And what we're doing tonight, or what we propose, is a subdivision from 2 lots into 3 lots. Now, I know subdivisions are largely the purview of the planning board, but just from a quirk, not necessarily in the land use law, but there's a 2-family house on one of the parcels. And we are decreasing the size of that lot. And the 2-family home is non-conforming. It's been there since 1895, but nonetheless, it's non-conforming. 2-family homes are not permitted in the R30 zone. So we're decreasing the size of that lot. We're not changing the two-story home, the 2-family home rather, which it is 2 stories. We're not changing anything about the improvement except decreasing the lot size. So that triggers the D2 variance, and that's why we're here before you tonight. Otherwise, this would probably have been somewhat more of a garden variety subdivision before the planning board. But again, we're decreasing a non-conforming lot to some extent, and that triggers the D variance. So every now and then I get to present an application, and if you'll indulge me, that reminds me of my family's beginnings in this country. My grandmother came over from Italy in the early 1920s and was lucky enough to purchase a farm in East Brunswick. And it was about 10 or 12 acres. And it was carved into 3 parcels. And several generations of my family lived in that little compound of East Brunswick for over 100 years. And there are still some people in the immediate area, but not on these properties any longer. But in any event, it was a wonderful way to grow up, despite some of the craziness of the Toto family. But in any event, I mentioned that my grandmother came here in the 20s. The DePiro family came here a bit earlier. I think it was closer to 1905. And they, at one point, owned this property early on in the 20th century. And it changed hands. And then Beth and Charles DePiro were lucky enough to purchase it in 1985. And they reside there. And they raised 2 of their children there. And there's like I said, that's the single-family home, the larger lot. There's also, as I had mentioned, the 2-family home where Charles's mother lives, Beth's mother-in-law, and they also have a tenant in that home. So I bring all this history up to you tonight just to talk about what's driving this application. And it's about family, and it's the desire for the DePiros to have their son, Jonathan, come home. He has some health issues, which we'll talk about, and that's what the driving force behind this application is. It's about family. It's not about flipping property or earning a buck, so to speak. It's about family. So to that end, I'd like to call Beth DePiro. Beth, if you would.
I could swear you in quickly.
Sure,
If you could raise your right hand, you swear the testimony you're going to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
If you could state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address, please, for the record.
Beth DePiro, 404 Spotswood, Gravel Hill Road, Monroe Township.
Beth, good evening. Just to confirm, are you the owner of the properties that are the subject of this application?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and when did you purchase these properties?
1985.
Okay, let's discuss the current occupants of the lot. Who lives on the larger lot in the single-family home?
Charlie and I
Okay.
live there.
And your children no longer live there, correct?
Correct.
And where does your daughter live?
She lives in Monroe Township on Fernhead Avenue.
How far away from you guys?
1.5 miles.
Okay.
2 miles, I'm not exact. Very close.
Oh, fair enough. And your son Jonathan, where does he reside?
He lives on Avenue D in the Alcolt section.
And how far is that from you guys?
About 1 mile.
Okay. And who lives in the 2-family home on the smaller lot?
My mother-in-law resides in the dwelling on the bottom, and we rent the upstairs apartment.
And Beth, as I said in my brief opening, your wish is for the family, particularly Jonathan, to remain tight-knit with you guys, not only emotionally, but geographically. So just, if you would, explain to the board exactly why we're here tonight.
Well, we would love for Jonathan to live closer to us. He has had health problems in the past, starting when he was in college in New York City. And it's just easier with his progression of his illness. It's easier for him to be home. He lost the eyesight in one eye, and he is battling to keep the eyesight in his second eye. So with him being closer, it's easier for us to run over when he needs us, and vice versa, he comes to help us. And with his grandmother living, well, hopefully living behind him, he can help out in her case. With her being 85 years old, we're just running all over, taking care of each other. But that's what we are. We are a family-based family. Family is very important to us.
So the assumption is if the board were to approve the application, that Jonathan would move from Outcolt to.
To in front of my mother-in-law's house,
Okay,
yes.
Okay. Just a couple of other questions that were raised in some of the reports. There's an existing driveway easement, which we're retooling a bit, again, assuming if the board acts favorably. Is it your testimony that you and Charles would take responsibility for that easement?
Yes,
That
definitely.
includes maintenance, insurance, et cetera?
Exactly.
Okay, okay.
Keeping it paved, keeping it clean, yes,
And on that note, the driveways will be asphalt?
yes,
Okay. And you agree to construct whatever roadway improvements that might be required, whether it's curbs, sidewalk, road widening, on Gravel Hill Road, correct?
yes.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, nothing further for Mr. Pirro.
Please continue with your witnesses.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you,
Jonathan,
board.
if you would. Next witness, Mr. Chairman, is Jonathan DePiero, the applicant.
If you could raise your right hand, do you swear the testimony you're going to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
If you could state your name and give us your address for the record, please.
Sure. Jonathan DePiero. Just my last name, spell it.
You don't need to spell it, obviously.
Dipiero, 20 Avenue D, Monroe Township, New Jersey, 088.
Jonathan, good evening. How are you?
Good evening. How are you?
Good, good. Jonathan, where do you reside?
20 Avenue D in Elcolt, Monroe Township.
Okay. And how long have you been a resident of Monroe Township?
Almost my entire life. I'm 37 years old. For the first 18 years of my life, I lived in Monroe. I graduated from Monroe Township High School. I moved to Brooklyn and a little bit in Manhattan for school, and then back to Monroe for 5 years, and then Bridgewater for 5 years, and then back in Monroe now. So like 28 of my 37 years of being here.
Jonathan, explain to the board the nature of your health issues.
Yeah. A little tough to talk about.
Understood.
Yeah, I have a disease called bilateral uveitis and glaucoma in both of my eyes. It started out in college. It's autoimmune, pretty much what they told me. They have no idea what started it. I have no vision in my right eye. I lost complete vision one night, and I try very, very hard to keep the vision in my left eye, strong enough to work. I do video production and animation for a job, so I rely a lot on my good eye. My doctor, who's the best in the country, he calls it the $1 billion eye, and I do everything I can to keep this vision.
Jonathan, ideally, if the board were to approve the application, how would things be better for you health-wise or just from a lifestyle perspective if you were closer to your family?
I haven't lived super far from my family, but when I did, getting to the doctors is really, really tough. I can drive myself there, but I can't drive myself home after they dilate my one good eye. I'm constantly getting procedures. Having my family around I can't speak for everybody, but I have incredible parents, the best parents, and I love living near them. I've always loved living there, and to be able to keep living there, or to build a home and live there with my family that's the ultimate goal. That's what I really want.
And without tying you down to a certain size, we're thinking that the home would be approximately one story.
Yeah, and that's it's easier for me. I've lived in a townhouse before. The house I live in now is a one-floor ranch. I would probably just like to keep it that way. It's easier, and I have no issues.
Does avoiding a second floor, is that part of your health concerns or health issues?
Yeah, and also, I'm no spring chicken anymore, so I don't want to keep going up and down stairs. I like having one floor.
Fair enough. Anything else you might want to add to the board, Jonathan? I have nothing further.
No, this is very important to me, and I'm very new to this whole process and how this stuff works. And I just want to say thank you for your time and for doing this. I know this is very important. This is very important to me and my family. I would love to be close to them. I would love to remain close to my sister. And I just have very deep roots here, and I would love to continue living in this town. Mr. Chairman, and everybody else, thank you very much. Buona notte.
I have nothing further for Mr. DePiero, unless the board.
That's fine. No,
Okay.
we'll wait till the end for
Sure.
questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chapman. My next witness is the project engineer. He's actually, he's pinch hitting tonight for Matthew Willard. It's Patrick Ladisi. Patrick?
Do you swear the testimony you're going to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
If you could state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address, please.
Patrick Laudisi, Laudisi. It's 137 Central Ave in Island Heights, New Jersey.
Patrick, on the easel, I'm sorry.
Do you want to move that a little closer?
No. Actually, let's go through
This
your,
is the plans you guys have.
give the board the benefit of your CV.
Oh, sure. I'm a graduate of NJIT with a bachelor in civil engineering, and I am a licensed professional engineer. My license is in good standing.
And you've been an engineer for how long?
10 years, licensed for 6.
And have you had occasion to testify before planning and zoning boards?
Yes, but not this is my first time in front of Monroe.
Well, Mr. Toto will accept his.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that. Sure, Patrick, go right ahead and just give the board the benefit of your engineering testimony.
Sure. As stated, this application is seeking minor subdivision approval on the subject site, Block 76, lots 7.03 and 7.06, also known as 404 and 406 Spotswood Gravel Hill Road. Existing lot 7.06 is an 8.638 acre site and contains an existing single-family residence with accessory structures. Existing lot 7.03 is a 1.158 acre site and contains an existing two-family residence as discussed. Both lots reside within the R30 residential zone of the Township of Monroe. There are no known easements, deed restrictions, or covenants associated with the subject property. And there is an existing wooden split rail fence within the township right-of-way to remain, but it will need to be modified in the future to accommodate the proposed driveway servicing the new building to be constructed. Proposed lot 7.07, as shown on our plan, is 8.250 acres and contains the existing single-family structure from existing lot 7.06. Proposed lot 7.05 is 0.856 acres and contains the existing two-family residence from existing lot 7.03. And then proposed lot 7.04, which we're creating, is 0.690 acres and will contain that single-family residence that we were discussing. We are requesting the following variances, which we have a planner who will provide testimony for. Lot width, where 150 feet is required and 31.9 feet are provided for both proposed lot 7.05 and 7.07. Lot frontage, same deal, 150 feet required, 31.9 feet provided for both lot 7.05 and 7.07. And lot depth, where 200 feet is required and 170.83 feet is provided for proposed lot 7.04. The April 23rd, 2026 review letter calls out a minimum buffer width from right-of-way variance for proposed lot 7.04, which is the one that we're going to be building in the future, where 60 feet is required and 51.0 feet is provided. It's important to note that the depicted proposed structure was intended to represent a compliant placeholder building footprint to be developed at a later date, and the buffer width variance was essentially created in error. We just put it in the wrong spot. We just need to shift it back 10 feet, or 9 feet from where we show it. Any approvals required by the development on proposed lot 7.04 will be addressed during the plot plan and permitting stage of that development in the future. Proposed lot 7.05 also has an existing nonconformity for side yard setback where 20 feet is required and 13.7 feet exists, which is to remain unchanged. As discussed again, kind of getting over just a little bit here, but as it sits, the two existing principal structures are served by a shared driveway, which is proposed to be modified. The proposed shared driveway provides access to proposed lot 7.07 and 7.05 and has 3 separate access easements to facilitate that access. We represent easement A as 3,610 square feet, easement B is 2,792 square feet, and easement C is 1,568 square feet. The total asphalt impervious coverage pre-construction serving the two existing structures is 26,901 square feet total. And the total asphalt impervious coverage post-construction serving the two existing structures is 26,394. So it represents a very slight reduction, about 2%. Now, that does not count the driveway for lot 7.04. It's just meant to depict essentially what's there now versus what was there after the fact for the existing two structures, and we're representing a slight reduction. The engineer's letter, the planner's letter actually, references trees that are to be removed. We will locate the trees to be removed in the field and notate them on the plans as well as a result of the modified driveway layout. And obviously, if a tree removal permit is required, it will be obtained prior to the removal of those trees. One other concern was for a NJDEP LOI, a letter of interpretation. We filed a determination request with the DEP in December of 2025, and we actually got the response this morning, date stamped today, stating that the Division of Land Resource Protection determined that freshwater wetlands and waters are not present on our subject lot, nor does any part of the subject lot occur within a transition area or buffer. I do want to note that our plans originally called out a small area on lot 7.06, which will then become proposed lot 7.07, where we had some wetlands flagged. However, normally the DEP tells you don't have enough wetlands. In this case, they disagreed with us and said there isn't any. That's not correct. This is just essentially state open waters, which means there is no associated buffer with that because it is a man-made structure. It's not a natural body of water.
And that serves no stormwater management purpose?
No, it does not.
Okay.
Moving to the engineers and planners letters outside of what I've already mentioned, we take no exception to the items requested in those letters. We shall provide a updated grading plan for proposed lots 7.05 and 7.07 to show proper drainage for that driveway, as well as the entire proposed curb and sidewalk area along the frontage of the roadway, showing proposed drainage patterns to ensure that the revised impervious coverage does not cause drainage issues on adjacent lots. Copies of that approved letter of interpretation from the DEP will be provided during the resubmittal, and the plans will be updated and corrected in accordance with the board engineer's comments. All necessary outside agency approvals will be provided as part of resolution compliance should the board vote favorably on the project. And that's pretty much all I got.
I have nothing further for Mr. Ladisi, Mr. Chairman.
Oh.
The man we've all been waiting for. Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate that.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Do you swear the testimony you're going to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
If you could state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address, please.
Yes, my name is Mark A. Remsa, last name spelled R-E-M-S-A. Address is 10 Dewberry Court, Mount Laurel, New Jersey.
We accept this credential.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mark, before you get started, I just want a point of clarification. Early on in the process, there was some confusion about the proposed residence on Gravel Hill Road. It's a single-family home, not a two-family home, correct?
The proposed dwelling is a single-family.
And of course, the primary residence at the rear is single-family, but there is that older home, the two-family, from 1895, in the sort of the middle of the property, correct?
Yes, that's the older home is the existing two-family.
Okay. Give the board, if you would, Mark, the benefit of your planning testimony.
Yes, good evening, board members, board professionals, and members of the public. I'm going to just briefly touch on the existing property, and then I'm going to progress into the proofs. So the property, which is block 76 lots 7.03 and 7.06, they are relatively large parcels of land in comparison to the R30 zone in which they're located. And are also irregularly shaped. As you can see on the drawing that's to my left, that's the plans that were submitted as part of the application package. And you can see the irregular shape of the property. And then to the north, there are single-family dwellings. To the east, more single-family dwellings and woodlands. To the south is a single-family dwellings. And then to the west, across Spotswood Gravel Hill Road, was the former Garvey's restaurant, which is now a proposed township open space. So it gives you an idea of what the nature of the surrounding area is, residential in nature. And all three proposed lots will comply with the minimum lot area requirements of the R30 zone. As a matter of fact, the new lot that'll face along the Spotswood Gravel Hill Road, that will be a little over 30,000 square feet, which will be compliant. And then the two-family will have a little over 37,000 square feet, and the one where Charlie and his wife reside, that will have almost 360,000 square feet. And as the engineer described, access to those two existing dwellings is through an existing common driveway. That's essentially going to remain providing that access. So we do have some variances associated with this application, and principally they deal with the two existing lots, because we're going to be creating essentially two flag lots with that common driveway. And so and also the two-family home, even though it's on a larger lot right now, it will be reduced in size, and that's what triggers the use variances, why we're in front of this board. So the minimum lot widths are required to be 150 feet, and the proposed lot widths for both proposed lots 7.05 and 06 will be 31.9 feet. The minimum lot frontage, same thing, is 150 feet is required, and we have the same lot frontages of 31.9 feet for both proposed lots. And then the lot depth, this pertains to the new lot where the new home will be. It's required to be 200 feet deep, and it's only 170.8 feet deep. But that particular lot will have the house fronting on Spotswood Gravel Hill Road with access to the same road.
It will not share the driveway, correct?
Will not be shared driveway. It will be the norm, if you will, that's expected in Monroe Township, where the homes will have access directly from the adjoining road with a driveway. And then we have an existing non-compliance, and that's the minimum side yard for the existing lot 7.05, where the two-family is. So looking at this, I'm going to be talking about the use variance aspect first. And so in my opinion, there's positive criteria that can be met. In terms of the special reasons, I'm going to talk about NJSA 40:55D-2. I'm going to give you the small letter, and I'm going to paraphrase the purpose of the municipal land use law that I believe this application will promote. So the first one is to provide adequate light, air, and open space. And in this instance, all of the proposed lots will comply with the minimum lot area and all of the minimum side yard, rear yard, and front yard setbacks, except for the existing home, which cannot be changed, the existing two-family home. So in that case, adequate air, light, and open space will be provided around all of the proposed the existing homes and the proposed home on the proposed lots. Next one is G, to provide sufficient space in appropriate locations for a variety of land uses. In this case, it's residential land use. And so we have an existing condition where we have two existing residential dwellings. One is a two-family. It's been there for over 130 years. And then we have the other one, the home that's tucked in farther in the back with an existing single-family home. And then on the proposed lot that fronts along Spotswood Gravel Hill Road, the ordinance contemplates detached single-family homes on 30,000 square foot lots. And so we're providing that. That would be to provide a desirable visual environment Essentially, this is a lovely tree and landscape property. We're going to be maintaining all of those trees except for the spot where the new home will be built. And so I believe that situating that new home on the new lot facing along Spotswood Gravel Hill Road will be in keeping with the character that's in the neighborhood of the surrounding existing homes. So the next one is J, and that is to prevent urban sprawl and the degradation of the environment. And in this case, this portion of the property where the new home will be next to this to the two-family home, I believe that it's sort of a infill type of development and would have the proper use of land. And the fact that the two-family home will be on a slightly smaller lot, I believe there will not be any significant detriment caused by that at all. And then M, that's for the more efficient use of land, and the same discussion is about using an oversized parcel of land and providing an additional lot, and certainly many times less in terms of the permitted density that's on the permitted in the R30 zone. And then finally A, and that's to encourage municipal action to provide appropriate uses to promote the health, safety, public health, safety, morals, and general welfare. And I believe that given all the prior purposes being promoted, we will certainly achieve that as well. Site suitability, that's the other part of the positive criteria test. And I apologize for being redundant, but the property is currently used as a two and one family dwellings. It can easily accommodate the additional lot. The single-family home can be easily built on that new parcel of land without causing any detriment to the two-family home. We have a unique situation here where the two homes that exist are already served by a shared driveway, and in essence, that's not changing, so that the property can continue to support that. The average lot area is many times greater. The average lot area, which turns out to be 142,000 square feet if you average them all together, and the minimum lot area in the R30 zone is 30,000 square feet. And again, in terms of density, this piece of property will provide an average density of 0.4 dwelling units per acre, where the R30 zone permits up to almost 1.5 dwelling units per acre. And so, and again, it's served by utilities, and again, the new home will also be served by new utilities, the same existing utilities. So turning to the substantial detriment to the public good, this is part of the negative criteria. We have to examine what this proposal will have any detrimental effect on surrounding properties. I see no detrimental effect to the maintaining the two-family home and the single-family home and adding an additional one-family home that is compatible with the homes that already exist to the north. I see no detriment at all accruing to the residents that are way far away from the property to the east and to the south. Again, I see no detriment because the new home that will be on Spotswood Gravel Hill Road will be of similar character and size of those surrounding homes. And then to the west, I see no detriment to the proposed open space across the roadway. And then finally, looking at, does this cause any substantial impairment of the intent and purpose of the zone plan and zoning ordinance? I do not, because the master plan calls out for this property to be R30 type of zoning, and the zone plan calls for R type zoning. Again, the densities that are proposed are well below what's contemplated in the master plan and shown and required in the zoning ordinance. Now, in terms of the variance for the lot widths, frontage, and lot depth, It's a combination of C1 hardship in terms of relationship of the new lot that's going to be next to the single-family home lot. The two-family home lot, that's fixed. We cannot move that two-family home. And so the area that's in front of that, going towards Spotswood Gravel Hill Road, it is the amount of area that can be developed. Even though it's over 30,000 square feet, we're just short on the lot depth. Now, in terms of the flexible C, we're creating the two narrow stems, if you will, where they're a little over 30 feet each in lot width and lot frontage. That's an existing condition that we're trying to provide adequate road frontage touching upon Spotswood Gravel Hill Road. Even though it's an unusual shape and arrangement of the lot lines, what's essentially happening is that we're still maintaining that shared driveway, and then those stems will have the easements to provide the future access rights to those two new lots. So in summary, I believe the use variance as well as those bulk variances can be granted for this application.
Okay, thank you, Mark. And Mark, no objection to any of the professional letters? We can comply?
No objection at all.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, nothing further for Mr. Remser.
Thank you, Mr. Toto. Mr. Christopher, you're up.
Now it's on. Okay, first of all, make a point of clarification. Our letter we sent out April 23rd last week. Due to that little bit of confusion in the way the application was initially filed, we weren't clear if the new house was going to be a two-family or a single-family. They've made abundantly clear now it's going to be a single-family. So any reference in my letter to a D1 use variance, that you can strike that doesn't apply. The use variance that Mark is talking about is a D2 variance for an expansion of a non-conforming use, and in that case, the non-conforming use is the two-family house. So when you hear use variance, you're usually thinking of something completely not permitted in the zone. What we're talking about tonight is simply an existing home that has two dwellings within the home, where only single-family homes are permitted. So the actual use variance, the D variance here, is just because the lot size of the existing two-family home is shrinking in size. And even though it's not really an intensification of that use, which is what would typically trigger a D2 variance, they're not expanding it. Under case law, by just simply reducing the lot size, it's considered an intensification of the use, and therefore a D2 variance is required. I have no objection to the testimony provided by any of the witnesses tonight. The bulk variances are relatively minor, in my opinion. It's for essentially for flag lot conditions. The lot frontage doesn't meet the minimum required, but otherwise the lots are more than sufficient in size. The newly created lot fully conforms to the code other than the lot depth. They've eliminated one of the variances. I was going to ask about if they could move the house back a little bit, just it looks like about 8 feet. They'd meet the buffer requirement as well, and they've already agreed to do that before I even had to ask. Half of my letter doesn't even apply anymore since they don't need a D1 use variance, and the actual bulk variances are either for an existing condition or just for those flag stem portions of the lots that don't meet the minimum lot width requirements. But otherwise, this is residential dwelling units in a residential zone where they meet the overall net density, more than meet it actually. And in my opinion, the actual variances being sought here are relatively minor, and I don't see any significant impact from the essentially reconfiguration of the lot pattern here for the existing two-family dwelling, which is what triggers them coming before this board rather than going to the planning board for a minor subdivision.
Thank you, Chris. Mark?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. They have already agreed to meet the comments in my February 16, 2026 review letter. A couple additional items. Proposed lots 7.04, I suggest a K turnaround for the driveway. This is a busy road. To make it safer for backing out of the driveway, they'd be able to provide a K turnaround so they could pull straight out.
Agreed. No problem.
And I might have missed it in your testimony with regard to the fence that's existing along in the right-of-way along the frontage. Is that fence being removed? Uh,
We were proposing for it to remain. We'll have to make a modification to it to accommodate the driveway for lot 7.04, but I don't believe that they have an objection to removing it entirely. No objection to removing it entirely if requested, but we're asking for it to stay.
Okay.
Leave it up to the board.
If it's going to stay, we need some, a little more information, and I'd have to defer back to our planner because it is in the right of way. But, height and just information. on
Mark,
it.
we'll remove it.
Get rid of it.
Yeah, it's not necessary.
The next item, it was, there's street lighting proposed now under this revised plan. I don't have any existing streetlight information provided on the plan in that area. So if you're proposing the streetlights, then you just need to see what lighting's in the area across the street, how
Okay.
far the next fixtures are. Additionally, the proposed streetlight need to meet the JCP&L approved street lighting for Monroe Township, and there's a streetlight contribution agreement that would be provided to have those Cobra head fixtures installed.
That's fine.
No problem.
And that's in accordance with our
Yes.
township requirements. And the last thing, I believe it was noted in your review letter or in your response letter that the deeds would be filed by subdivision map. Are you going to file by deed or you're going to file by subdivision map?
I think by map.
Okay, if you file by map, the map needs to be updated to meet the New
Understood.
Jersey state map filing laws. And again, if you're doing it by map, then the maintenance responsibility for the easement should be noted on the map.
In the notes.
And if you do it by deed, it would be in the deed. But,
Understood.
But again, if you're doing it by map, this needs to be updated to meet the map filing law.
Fair enough.
That's my comment.
Thank you, Mark. Any board members have any questions pertaining to this application? Seeing there's none, I will open this up to the public. Anyone from the public wishing to speak on this particular application, please come forward. Seeing there's none, I need a motion to close the public portion. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, board members, you have an application in front of you for a minor subdivision. You heard our professionals, you heard the testimony. We need to put it to a vote. Do I have a motion to approve or deny?
I'll make a motion to approve under the stipulation the applicant adheres to our professionals' requests.
I'll second it.
Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Mr. Masters?
Yes.
Mr. Lupo?
Yes.
Mr. Tanzi?
Yes.
Mr. Jaffe?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Giudice?
Yes.
Chairman LaFata?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Are you using the same stenographer for the next?
Yes.
one? Okay, we're gonna give her 5 minutes.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We're gonna get cramps, all right?
Angela doesn't need a break.
Next application is BA-5092-14. Excuse me if I pronounce it wrong. Joaquim M. Fernandez, LLC.
That is correct, Mr. Chairman.
Dismissed, let's go.
Walter Toto on behalf of Joaquim Fernandez LLC. That's the holding company, the owner of the property, and the operator, proposed operator, is Fernandez Construction. And I have one of the principals of the company, the principal of the company, Paul Fernandez, here to testify tonight. Tonight, we're seeking use variance and preliminary major site plan approval. We are not seeking final tonight in accordance with this board's typical protocol with regard to site plans. I have Sharif Ali as our project engineer and Mark Remza as our planner. In 2004, 2006, and 2008, Star of the Sea Concrete received approval from this board for a much more ambitious project on this site. More parking, a larger building. We're paring that down, and it's significantly reduced. Nonetheless, we still require a use variance. This type of office and storage of construction material and parking construction vehicles is not permitted in the zone, and that's what's triggering the use variance. So, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, I'll call my first witness, Paul Fernandez.
Thank you.
Sir, if I could swear you in quickly, if you could raise your right hand for me. Do you swear the testimony you're going to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. If you could state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address for the record, and please try to speak into the microphone. That makes everyone happy.
Hi, my first name is Joaquim Fernandez, Fernandes. I own Joaquim Fernandez LLC and also Fernandez Construction, Inc. And my address is 25 Stonegate Drive, Monroe.
Paul, how long have you lived in, you mind if I call you, I know,
That's
I've
fine,
been
yeah,
referring
that's
you as
my
Paul
middle
for
name,
25
yes.
years,
Yes.
so. Paul, where do you, how long have you resided in Monroe Township?
Since 2017.
And your current business operations are where?
Right now, most of our work is down south, Monmouth County, like Bradley Beach, Ocean Township, all of those towns. That's where we've been, and we store our equipment down there. But
Okay.
we would like to move up this way because I live in town, and I'd like to be, like to work in town. It's like working in your backyard, So that's the intent here.
Paul, how many employees do you have?
We're about 20 employees.
Okay, a lot of them from the area, from Monroe?
Some of them, yes.
Okay.
Majority from South River, but
Okay. And the proposal is to keep that number of employees?
Yes.
At 20?
yes.
Okay. How about hours and days of operation?
So normally, during the working season, which is like March 15th to December 15th, most of our stuff is always out. The guys don't even go to the yard; they just go straight to the job. So there's very little movement, on this specific property. It only gets a little busier during the winter time. Just do a little maintenance, and get ready for the next season. But during the summer, maybe one or two people there, just doing regular maintenance and stuff.
Well, I've gotten a bit ahead of myself here. Describe for the board exactly what it is that you do. What is your?
So basically, we are a concrete / paving company. We do we're very heavily, pretty much like 99% of our work. It's all municipal jobs. We only work for so we are a union company, and we've been doing pretty good. We do what we like to do, and I'd like to keep it that way. But again, I'd like to come up this way a little bit because, after a while driving an hour, each way to go to work, it'd be nice to kind of. Plus, I like this town. I'd like to do a little more for it. I do own a couple properties in this town, so it would be nice to get this approval and to kind of keep things where they should be.
Well, let's talk about proposed operations on site. Is there on-site fueling of the vehicles?
There's no fueling on site.
Okay.
There's no fueling.
Where does that occur?
So usually what we do, we have pickup trucks with diesel tanks. So they usually go to the nearest gas stations
Okay.
to pump the diesel because it's not feasible they have a 5-man crew just go to the yard to pump, 100 gallons of diesel,
Understood.
take it to the job.
And with regard to repairs or maintenance of the vehicles, is that occurring on site? And if so, what's the extent or the nature of those repairs?
So normally, like in the wintertime, we would do just the regular maintenance, which it would be done inside of the building, not
Okay.
outside, inside. And we're usually very careful where, for instance, like the old oil goes in the container and then the company picks it up. So we're very thorough as far as, plus it's my property. I don't want to contaminate it because if I want to sell it, it's not worth it.
Understood.
So,
Understood.
that's
Of
one of
course.
those things that I'm very big with that.
Let's talk about the types of materials that you intend to have on site.
Materials is not going to be anything major because we normally pick up the material and take it straight to the job. So it would probably be a couple loads of 3/4 clean stone, some Belgian block, things like that that you like to have handy in case if you get an emergency to do over the weekend or whatnot.
And what's the intention with regard to vehicles? Describe for the board.
Well, so the vehicles will be more like stored there during the slow season, which will be the winter time. Like 3 or 4 pickup trucks, 6, it says here, 7 dump trucks, 2 pavers, milling machine, 2 excavators, things like that, of that nature.
So in the busy season, which again is
Everything is out.
mid-March until November?
Yeah, everything is out.
Everything is out. Okay. And again, so no major repairs are occurring on site and everything
No.
that's happening is happening inside?
Yes, there's no, and the guys, they don't like to be, like working on top of dirt or stone. They want a nice flat surface, which would be inside of the building. That's the intention here.
Understood. How about deliveries? How often and what types of
There's
trucks?
there's not many deliveries, other than maybe, just UPS or something, parts that we order to fix something. But other than that, it's, it's really a low key company. It's not going to grow much more because I'm okay with the way it is. And I can tell you this, that I have a neighbor across the street. He's got a company. I'll do a lot less noise and everything else because, I'm more like, I work more like outside and I spend a month or 2 on the same job, so.
Understood. Now we're proposing a 5,000 square foot office. So
Yes.
how many employees would be in the office on a daily
Well,
basis?
it's not office, technically.
It's a flex space.
Yes, so it's just gonna be probably 2 or 3 at the most on a daily basis, if that, so.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I have nothing further for Mr. Fernandez.
Thank you. Bring your first professional up, please.
Sure. Sharif? You're good.
There you go. Do you swear the testimony you're going to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
If you could state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address for the record, please.
Sharif Ali, ALY, 757 Ridgewood Avenue, North Brunswick.
Is Sharif still qualified from the first
Yeah,
application?
we'll accept his we'll
Thank you,
accept
Mr.
his
Chairman.
credential.
Fire away, Sharif.
Yeah. So you heard that we on 12 Union Hill Road. So Union Hill Road, if you're traveling, is coming into Monroe, you'll be coming from Marlboro, Manalaban area. So that's Union Hill Road is one of the gateways into Monroe. This site here, it's about a little bit shy of 11 acres, mostly wooded, as you see all the green on the exhibits.
Call this A1?
Yes.
Perfect.
Thank you, Peter.
And Mr. Ali, if you could just describe what A1 is.
So A1 is the site plan, a color site plan. So as you're coming from Manalaban, we're on the border with Manalaban. on Union Hill Road. Across the street will be Persusa. You approve this application. It's the same pretty much application, contractor site that is across the street. The second lot is you coming in tomorrow. Most of the lot, it's an L-shaped lot and mostly wooded, environmentally sensitive area, pretty much all over the site between the wetlands and flood hazard, as well as the buffer that goes along with both of them. It's only tiny area that, as you see on the color map, that is outside the wetlands and the flood hazard area. To the west of us is the gun club. Everybody knows where is the gun club there. And as you proceed and you come to Englishtown Road, you will see Franklin Plaza on the same side as us. So that is as far as the location, the acreage on site, and we happen to be in the NC zone, the neighborhood commercial zone. What you see out there, if you've been out there, you will see there is a gate. It's a gated site, and you will see a long driveway, long gravel driveway. There is no improvement on the existing roadway. What's out there too is a shelter. It's about 1,500 square feet. There is no walls, just a shelter. Actually, there is two walls on the side, right? Yeah. So that's what's out there. There is no water in the area. There is no Monroe water at all on Union Hill Road there. And as well as there is no sewer. So this is one of the areas that's been kind of like pushed to the side for a while there. So hopefully we'll have sewer and water soon in this area. So again, you know, this is a gateway into Monroe, and we'd like to improve the area. It's just like you approved Persusa and the gun club, and they look much better with the landscaping and everything as it coming from an Albin area. The proposal, you heard that it's 5,000 square feet. There is no office, probably just a small room. Let's call it gathering room for the 3 employees. Is going to be, along with that, 8 parking spaces. What's required by ordinance is 6. We have, I hope I'm right. Yes, 6 is required by ordinance, and we will have 8 spaces. One of them will be typical ADA space with the striping. The spaces will be 9 by 18, typical 9 by 18. Ordinance again requires 10 by 20. We all know that. So that will be a variance. Along with the proposal too, of the building, we're going to have 5 30 by 30, at max 8 feet high construction pins. And you heard our client, Paul, is talking about is just whatever is left from the site, or some for the reason of just emergency reason, if they need some of the materials to be installed somewhere. So we're not talking about a lot of activities. We're talking about only 3 employees that at max that will be on site. So we have very, very low traffic generated site here. And the reason for that, the reason I mentioned that because we would like to get a traffic waiver on one of the items in the engineer's report. So that's pretty much it as far as the site. The bulk requirement in the NC zone, none of them have been violated. We comply with all the bulk requirement. I give you an idea. So the building coverage required in the NC zone is 30%. We only have like 1%. The impervious coverage required in the NC zone is 60%. We only have about 18%. And most of that 18% is already on site. So with that said, we'll have a well, we'll have a septic. The area for a septic has already been tested by the county, and there is no issue there. We have about 6 variances to go along with that, along with the use. The use is 1, and then I mentioned the 9 by 18, the parking spaces, where 10 by 20 is required. We also have a small freestanding sign that will be just an ID sign for the facility. Here again, we're not inviting public here. So this is just if UBS decided to come to the site, that it's just an ID sign. It's about 20 square feet, and will meet all the requirement for a typical zone in Monroe would be the commercial zone. However, there is a variance required for the sign because the NC zone, for whatever reason, the ordinance is not allowing a sign in the NC zone, even though that we have a lot of retails in the NC zone. But that is a variance. And then we have also the typical 60-foot buffer that is required along any existing roadways. That's another variance. We shy of that 60. On one side of the roadway, we have that 60 feet. Of the driveway, we have the 60 feet. The other side, we have a septic, and that's the only area that we can have a septic in that area. So we went from 60 to 29. The site is wooded. We'd like to keep the woods, unless that you want us to remove the woods and put a berm and comply with the ordinance. So that part of the berm, landscape berm, also it is a variance. And the other two famous variances or design waiver is a building to be 30 feet from the parking area. We have 6. This is a construction flex building. And the other one is the driveways. Every application asks for this variance here in town. Where it's allowed 35 feet, we have 115 feet opening for a driveway width from a radii point of tangent to the other side, radii point of tangent. So this is the variances, and I'm pretty sure Mr. Ramsa will be addressing all of the variances. So I believe I covered all the engineering, the bulk requirement, the existing condition, and what we are proposing on site.
Sharif, how about the building height? What's proposed?
The building, here you go.
45 is permitted, correct?
No, that's the NC zone, 35.
NC is 35?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this type of pole barns or frame buildings, they do not exceed 28 feet. So this is what the building is going to look like.
That includes the peak, Sharif?
Yes. So A2. And what I see here, the height of this here, let's say 9 and 9, that's 18 feet. So I said 28 feet at max. So we'll comply with the height. We have no problem with the height. And, yeah.
Sharif, what about any other waivers, environmental impact statement? I know you mentioned traffic.
Yes, so in the engineer's report, we have a number of items. We'll comply with all the items. And we have an item on page 3. One is not numbered, but page, yeah. Let me get. So will be 14E. An environmental impact statement needs to be provided. You hear me saying that we've been before the state for a letter of interpretation, and we have that. We have a flood hazard. We only limited to, let's call it, for the lack of a better word, the upland area. We will appear before the Environment Commission, but we'd like to ask for a waiver on the environment impact statement. That is another waiver that I would like to have. And you heard me before asking for a waiver on a traffic study, since we only have 3 employees at max in one day. I heard Paul, our client, talking about a maximum of 20 people in the company, but they're not going to be there on site. So this is a very low traffic generated site, and this is item 14G. a traffic study that would like to get a waiver on that too.
Sharif, I need you to address or confirm or clarify in Mr. Dockney's report on page 2 with regard to the zone X, Zone AE. Mr. Dockney calls out the FEMA National Flood Hazard Layer. Can you shed some light on that?
Yeah, I think I already did. So, 2023, the state added 3 feet on top of FEMA. So whatever FEMA elevation you pick up out there online, you add another 3 feet. So, and we're required as engineer producing site plan to go to the state and get flood verification, which is pretty much equivalent to what we call a letter of interpretation for wetlands. So that is already been secured by the state.
Okay, thank
That
you.
will address that total paragraph. So we don't follow FEMA anymore. So we follow flood verification. Is that good enough?
That's fine, yes, thank you.
Okay.
Anything else? And the septic's been approved, you said, right?
The septic, the preliminary assessment for the septic, which is the soil logs, they already been approved, meaning that we just have to design a septic.
Understood.
And that's going to be a very tiny septic.
Okay. Anything else, Sharif?
No. The one thing is that I would just like to add to what Walter talked about is the previous application that was approved by your board back in '06. That was a huge application. You are talking about an application of 9,000 square feet office building. In addition to that, another freestanding building of 18,000 square feet. So we're talking about total of 27,000 square feet. 2 building, 2 sheds, and 75 parking spaces. This application talking about 8 parking spaces, 5,000 square feet. So it's a night and day between these 2 applications.
Sharif, even though that prior applicant, Star of the Sea Concrete, obtained final major site plan approval, none of the improvements were constructed, correct?
Only the driveway.
Only the driveway.
Only the driveway, yeah.
Understood.
Yep.
Nothing further from Mr. Ali. Mr. Remza?
You're still under oath. Put your hand down, just tell us who you are.
Mark A. Remsa, 10 Dewberry Court, Mount Laurel, New Jersey.
Super duper.
You sure his credentials haven't been affected recently?
Did something happen in the last hour?
Have you been arrested in the last hour, Mark?
You stepped out of the room, did anything bad happen?
I filed a challenge again, so he's not going to find out till tomorrow.
That's the problem tomorrow.
We'll accept Mark's credentials.
Thank you. So, Mr. Chairman, board members, this is an unusually shaped piece of property. It's almost 11 acres in size, and it's in the NC zone. What's unique about the property is it has these environmental constraints with the wetlands and floodplain. And the developable portion of the property is actually set very far back from the road. It's not really conducive for the typical types of commercial uses that are permitted in the NC zone. NC zone has stores and shops and things of that nature that really want to have good visibility from the roadways. This is the opposite. This is actually a very well buffered property with a lot of woodlands surrounding it. So I'm not going to rehash what Sharif was and Paul were talking about the uses, but I will talk about what surrounds the property. To the north is essentially woodlands. To the east are woodlands, and much farther to the east are residential development in the neighboring town. And then to the south, across the roadway, is that other contractors type of yard, and then to the west is the gun club. So let's jump right to those variances. So The primary reason we're here is because the proposed use, the construction equipment storage yard, and that small maintenance building are not permitted in the NC zone. The NC zone wants to see retail, personal service, eating and drinking establishments, banks, and things like that in the NC zone. Also, the minimum buffer from the right-of-way is required to be 60 feet. We're proposing 29 feet, and the 29 feet is caused by the fact that the only good location for a septic system is located, and I'm going to point it out on
A1?
Is that A1 or 2?
That's A1.
A1, thank you.
You got it.
The location is essentially right here in this lower corner of the property. And this is the 60-foot buffer. What I'm drawing as the 60-foot buffer. It's supposed to be here. This is all heavily wooded. And then the area here will be a clearing for the septic system. And then also related to that buffer, required to have that 6-foot high berm. To me, it's much better to maintain the existing woodlands in its natural state than tear it down just to put a 6-foot high berm in place. Also, when you have a parking area of 3 or more vehicles, what's required in the ordinance is to have permanent pavement, and here we want to continue using the gravel for the parking area. Parking space size in the NC zone, yes, 10 by 20 feet is required when you have stores and shops and things like that where people need a wider swing of the car door. This is more of a what I'll call a light industrial type use where there's none of that's happening, and a 9 by 18 foot stall would suffice. And then also the minimum distance between a parking area and building is required to be 30 feet. 6 feet is proposed here. And also a ground mounted sign. They're not even permitted in the NC zone. Facade signs are, but not ground-mounted signs. And the ground-mounted sign here is a maximum of 5 feet high and 16 square feet in area. And that's enough to identify the business and the street address for good identification for deliveries, but also for emergency services and things of that nature. And then the one design exception is where the ordinance permits up to a maximum width of the opening of a driveway along the edge of the curb line, 35 feet, and you heard Sharif say that it's 115 feet, and 115 feet is essentially for accommodating the types of vehicles that may be stored in and driven in and out of the property on occasion. So, in terms of the legal proofs, positive criteria, special reasons. Again, I'm going to talk about NJSA 40:55D-2, provide the small letter, and paraphrase the purpose that's being promoted. First one is C, provide adequate light, air, and open space. In this instance, we're complying with all the bulk standards, all of the setbacks, and maintaining so much of the existing woodlands around the property, and also the amount of floor area ratio in this instance is 0.01, where the maximum permitted in the zone is 0.35. So this is a very low intensity, underdeveloped type of property, principally because of the environmental constraints and also maintaining all the woodlands. G, to provide sufficient space and appropriate locations for a variety of land uses. In this case, this is a very light industrial type of use, not a commercial use. It's essentially the storage of some vehicles, the off-season maintenance of vehicles, and the storage of some material that's used in the construction. I promote a desirable visual environment. In my opinion, the provision providing the extensive amount of woodlands and maintaining the natural environment will maintain that nice rural feel along this section of the roadway. J, and that's to prevent urban sprawl. And this property already started to be developed, as Sharif indicated, that the driveway and some of the openings have been in the back have been constructed, and we're basically reutilizing this vacant light industrial type of property for this proposed use. M, more efficient use of land. Same argument would apply to this one. And then A, to promote the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare. I believe that given all the prior factors of promoting those other purposes of the municipal land use law are being achieved. Now, in terms of site suitability, the site's 48 times larger than what's required in the NC zone, but the site is also very heavily wooded, has the wetlands and flood hazard areas around it, which will maintain the integrity of the existing woodlands. But they also, on this property, provide excellent screening from adjoining properties. The homes that are farther to the east, that heavily woodland area will be maintained. And it already has the existing gravel driveway and some of the clearings in the interior of the property, and I believe the property is suitable for this proposed use. So let's turn our attention to the negative criteria. Does this proposed use cause any substantial detriment to the public good? So we have to look at the impacts on surrounding properties. So to the north, would this proposal have any negative impact on the wooded area to the north? I don't believe it would have any impact at all. To the east, maintaining those existing woodlands and buffers, I don't believe that will have any substantial negative impact to the residents farther to the east, nor to the woodlands that exist adjoining the property. To the south, I don't believe there's any negative impact at all to the existing construction yard that's across the street. This is actually a similar type of use, albeit much better screened from the public view. And then to the west, I don't believe there's any detriment caused to the indoor shooting range. So the other thing is now we have to reconcile this with the master plan. Does this proposal substantially impair the intent and purpose of the zone plan and zoning ordinance? Well, the 2022 master plan recommends this area for a non-residential use, recommends it for essentially commercial and retail types of uses. This property is unsuitable for any type of retail or commercial type of use. In my opinion, it's suitable for the less intensive storage yard for the construction vehicles and material. So the master plan talks about goals and objectives, and they want to achieve a balance of land use types in the township. I believe that this proposed use will advance that because the property, again, is not really suitable for the NC zone in terms of the uses that are contemplated. It's much more compatible with the types of uses that have started to develop around it, like the firing range and the construction yard across the street. Also, it talks about promoting a light industrial type of development in appropriate locations. And so, again, this is an appropriate location for this because of the uniqueness of the property, the challenges that it has, and the amount of screening and buffering that it can afford. and encourage the infill development. This property started to be developed for a light industrial type of use, and in this instance, it will keep and maintain that character of the area. Now, in terms of the variances, in my opinion, they're all related to C2 type variances. That minimum buffer and the berming. Is it better zoning to provide the septic system in the only location that it can be shown? When the septic system's built, it'll just be a grass area on top. It'll be much more natural looking. I don't think a berm would be adequate here or appropriate here because the berming would displace the existing woodlands. In terms of the impervious, in providing paved areas for the parking, this is a construction yard. I believe that the gravel is more than sufficient to provide the limited parking that's on the property and actually suitable for the type of trucks and equipment that will be parked on the property. A minimum parking space size. This smaller 9x18 is standard for non-commercial types of uses. In this instance, this is a light industrial use, parking of employees. The public doesn't come to the property, so I think the 9x18 is appropriate. The minimum distance between the building, 6 feet away. Again, it concentrates all the parking and minimizes any further spreading of more developing of the property. So I think keeping it close together is a better design, better zoning. And that ground-mounted sign, certainly we're not going to be able to show the public any facade signs here because as you look on the A1, you can see all that green, that's all woods. So that will never be visible from the street. And locating a sign out by the street so it can at least identify the business for deliveries and emergency services is more appropriate, in my opinion. And then again, the extra wide driveway area where it meets the roadway is appropriate for the type of vehicles that will be visiting the site. So in conclusion, I believe the use variance and those variances and that design exception can be granted.
Mark, with the exception of the waivers that Sharif testified to earlier, can we otherwise comply with the memoranda from Mr. Dockney and Mr. Razumais?
Yes, I believe the applicant can comply.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I have nothing further for Mr.
Thank you. Chris?
Thank you. We issued a report April 24th. Oh, I just noticed now our report says April 24th, 2024, but I believe it was last week, so that should be 2026. We did not review this 2 years before we got the plans.
No, you know.
Not that quick. Good. I am not. Clearly not. Okay, I take no objection to the testimony provided here. It's a D1 use variance for essentially a contractor storage yard in the neighborhood commercial zone, which contemplates more retail restaurant uses. I agree that this site probably is not appropriate for that sort of use. I don't think it would be feasible at all, given the odd configuration of the lot and the environmental constraints for the wetlands taking up most of the property. So an actual conforming use would be very difficult here, if not entirely impossible or infeasible. I also think all the bulk variances are all pretty minor. It's the buffering, the berming and the buffering, the parking size, the parking setback, and then the sign. I do have a couple of questions about the site plan itself. I'll defer to Mark for any more specific details. So parking is supposed to be on an impervious surface, and you're proposing a lot of, I guess, vehicle storage would be on a gravel area. Is that correct? I apologize if some of this was covered in the initial testimony. I didn't quite catch it. But there's clearly the 8 parking spaces in front of the building are standard vehicle spaces, but there is going to be machinery or construction equipment that will be stored on site. Is that accurate?
Yes, and will be on gravel, yeah.
Be on gravel? Okay. I don't know if that would qualify as, because parking areas are supposed to be impervious surface, temporary storage of construction equipment. I don't know if that's parking or storage. I'll defer to Mark on how he wants to interpret that and whether or not that might need a design waiver. But any additional comment on that, I'll defer to Mark if he has a problem with it. And then lighting, looks like most of the lighting is okay, but the lighting levels were lower than required at the storage bin areas. So I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I assume there's not going to be a lot of operations here at the wee hours of the night. It's a primarily daytime operation.
That is correct, yes.
Okay. Let's see, parking.
And they're essentially shut down in the winter as well, so.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't know if you had mentioned that the existing little building on the site, the one shown in yellow on the plans, what is that used for? How is that going to figure into the operation?
So, that is the, it looks like about close to 1,500 square feet of shelter. And that. Just the,
Go ahead, take my seat.
So what that is, it's called like a Pocahontas, shelter. That's what it's called. And what that does, it just doesn't let rain fall on expensive equipment.
Okay, so it's just a storage building.
It's not even a building. What that is, it's just like it's
a shed roof over
posts?
Okay.
Aluminum posts with the hard cloth.
It has 2 walls, right?
Yeah, it has 2 walls. That's all there is. But I intend to move that actually and put it next to, to the building eventually, so it covers, like, for instance, the millers, the miller, the paver, expensive equipment that he don't want rain to fall on.
Okay, well, if you're going to be moving that yellow box, could you revise this, or eventually for compliance plans, submit plans showing where that yellow box is going to be on the updated plan? Just so whenever, on the assumption this gets approved,
Yes,
3 months
absolutely.
from now, your plans, the town engineer looking at it will say, okay, yes, you're moving this here. That doesn't have to go back to the board for a site plan change.
Yeah, well, we have to come back again for final.
Sorry, yes, but if you're going to be moving it, please show that on the plans.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes, we'll do.
Okay, and then there's going to be some tree removal required?
Yes, and we'll
And
go
you'll
through
seek
the
the appropriate
exercise
permits
with Mr. Lavallo, and yes.
Okay. Let's see. I have no further questions or comments.
Thank you, Chris. Mark?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Board's received my April 28, 2026 review letter dated today. I believe the applicant did receive that as well.
Yes, we have, Mark. We have no issues.
So right off the bat, the application was for a use variance, preliminary and final major site plan. So I commend the applicant by pulling the final request and only seeking use variance and preliminary major site plan approval. There is some cleanup of these plans that we'd certainly want to see before you come back for final. Let me go, should you get approved before you come back for final.
Of course.
With regard to a couple waivers that were pointed out, environmental impact statement, no objection to the waiver. The applicant did indicate they would go to the Environmental Commission, and whatever comments the Environmental Commission has, they will address accordingly. And my recommendation is to have that before coming back for final. So you have that in hand.
Yes.
Waiver for the traffic study. Will the public be coming to your facility?
No.
So this is just for your employees? And thank you. And then there was some testimony at the low traffic generator. You just stated there's no public coming to it, so I have no objection to a waiver of a full traffic study for this application. On-site fueling. What was the indication of that? Are you performing on-site fueling or no?
No, he testified that they have pickups with diesel tanks that go from site to site. It sounds economically infeasible to have.
There is the site is in the airport safety zone as well. My item number 4, you may need to go to the commissioner of the DOT for approval.
Understood. Yes.
So you'll have to meet the township ordinance of that and the state statute. Again, just pointing that out. A couple other items to point out, not necessarily spelled out in my review letter. Lighting. Well, let me start with the roadway. The driveway, it's delineated beautifully up on that exhibit, but the site plan, there's portions that it's really not delineated on, and it's hard to make out. So the plan should be cleaned up to show the entire driveway.
Yep.
Also, additionally, on the driveway, lighting. It looks like you got lighting at the building, some lighting at the entrance, but nothing along that roadway. It's a substantial length of roadway. It's only your vehicles are going to be using it, but there still needs to be some lighting along there. I imagine, though you don't work at night, there's still early morning hours into the fall, and the late evening hours. It starts getting
Sure.
dark. 4:30, 5 o'clock. So
That's acceptable.
need some lighting. Another question, I see in the area of the building, the proposed building, the parking lot appears to be delineated. Is that a fencing? Is that a retaining wall? What is provided around that? My concern is, you have this area laid out, but how do you prevent it from, the trucks creeping further into the wooded area, and it just, this whole site starts to expand before you know it. So is there it appears to be delineated by something.
It is, yes. So it's the same materials for the storage bins. So it's basically, they're blocks. You see the construction blocks. You have seen them on Pursuit. There, most of the construction site, they have that. They're like 3x3 blocks. And that's what is going to be delineating the entire parking lot.
So that'll
there'll be no encroachment. It will basically will act like a curb, but it pretty much, we need that because we lifting that area by a foot and a half of soil there for stormwater management.
So that'll prevent vehicles from going further into the wooded area or
yes.
into the wetland areas.
Yes.
Okay. And I think that's all I have at this moment. That's all I have.
Thank you. Any board members have any questions?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I have a few questions. Regarding the repair, most of the repair is being done inside is what I heard.
That's correct, Mr. Cole.
Are
yes.
you going to be doing any welding inside? You're going to be doing any torch burning, any gases, anything like that?
That's a no. No.
Nothing. Okay. I see you got some pretty heavy duty equipment. I like all that equipment, actually. You got a long way to go to get that equipment in there. How are you planning to get it in there?
Paul, what's the proposal for
Low boys?
the maneuvering of the equipment?
I don't follow.
How do you move your excavators and?
Well, we got a lowboy trailer.
Right.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Now that's going to be a gravel driveway,
Yes.
and that's quite a haul that you have there. That's heavy equipment. You think that
That's
gravel will hold
that's
it?
totally fine. Absolutely.
You okay? Okay.
100%. I've tried it.
You okay with that, Mark?
Yes, I'm okay with the gravel driveway, and certainly, it's his driveway, so if there's some settlement areas, he's going to have to address it. But I will ask, the entranceway, are you providing asphalt at the entranceway? Because we'd like to see, I think it's about 100 feet of asphalt apron, 50 feet of asphalt apron, and
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
50 feet, Mark, that's what,
What are you providing? I see a darker area on the plan.
Yeah, it looks like close to 100 feet. We don't like to see gravel being traveled on the roadways, so we do have close to 100 feet.
So 100 feet is adequate, because you want to be able to fit the low boy in there and any equipment, and we want it stopped on asphalt. And that asphalt would need to be, full depth, in accordance with our ordinance, in accordance with the ordinance. So I need a detail on a plan for that as well. But the rest of it being gravel, I have no objection to.
Yep. We'll agree.
Also, you don't have any city water or anything going in, right? No city water lines?
no water.
There is no
city.
water, no
No.
sewer in that area, yeah.
Okay, right. So the
We'll have a
people
well.
that are working there, you're going to have eye wash stations and places for them to wash? You're going to have porta-johns, all that kind of
There's
thing?
gonna be a bathroom there. We're gonna build a bathroom.
You are?
Yes, yes.
And
Bathroom.
you're going to supply the water from the wells?
Yes. We'll have the filtering system, so the water is healthy enough, and so forth.
Okay, Mr. Chair, that's all I have.
Any other board members?
I just have one. I was unclear on the height of the building. I heard 28, then I heard 18. What's the height of the building?
18 plus 9, is that what you said, Sharif? Was it 27?
No, what I said, typically, those type of buildings like Bull Barn, you don't exceed 28 feet. So when I looked at the architectural, and we put that on the board there, they were about 18 feet in height.
So the building's 18 foot in height.
Yes.
Okay. That's all, sir.
Any other? Mr. Donato?
Quick question. I know this is in Monroe Township that this is being built, but being so close to Manalapan, is there any notification to Manalapan required?
Yes, I notified the clerk in Manalapan. I notified some of the surrounding property owners that are within 200 feet.
And they're okay?
They're not here, so I'm going to answer yes to that. No, all kidding aside, we don't have to formally appear before Manalapan because no part of the property is specifically in Manalapan, only within 200 feet.
Okay, okay.
And the gun club next door, as I don't see anybody here, they're not concerned about loud noises or anything?
They make more noise than I do. But I do know them. There's no issue at all.
I know, I'm kidding.
I was waiting for the...
I guess the gentleman passed away too.
Yeah.
Good club.
Weeks ago.
Yeah, but
Gun club is a good club.
I have a quick question. You started touching on the hours and never completed it, or the days of operation?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I did catch that. So hours and days of operation.
So we normally only work during the week, 5 days a week. We don't work Saturdays.
So it's Monday to
It
Friday?
would be Monday to Friday, and
So
the hours.
An emergency on the weekend, how does that work?
Emergency, I mean, we would probably go in there, grab whatever we need, and just go do what we gotta do. But I mean, normally, the last time I got an emergency call was about 6 or 7 months ago. So.
And how about hours, Paul?
Well, hours usually it would be probably from 7 to 5, something like that.
And the busy season again is when?
Busy season, it starts March 15th usually to December 15th. That's when you have a little more traffic going in and out, but nothing crazy. Like I said, it's going to be a low-key construction yard.
Okay, the 2 to 3 office workers, are those plus the 20 employees or minus?
No, they are
So
part
they're
of the
part
20.
of the 20?
Yes.
Okay. The gate at the roadway, when you pull in, is that gate closed and secured all the time, or is it left open?
That gate, I'm going to make it where it's going to be an automatic gate. It's going to be far back enough where...
So a
when
truck can
trucks
pull in
pull
and
in,
have it
yes.
open, and, okay, they're not gonna be on the roadway?
They're not going to be standing on the roadway.
Very good. Okay. Any other board members? Seeing there's none, I'm going to open this application to the public. Anyone in the public wishing to be heard on this application and this application only, please come forward. Seeing there's none, I need a motion to close the public portion.
Motion to close.
Second? Who's second? Good. All in favor?
Aye.
Public portion's closed. Okay, board members, we have an application before us for approval or denial. Do I have a motion to approve or deny?
I'll make a motion to approve under the stipulation, like last time. There are professionals, they adhere to our professionals' requests.
I would second it. Secretary, roll call, please.
Mr. Masters?
Yes.
Mr. Lupo? Yes. Mr. Tanzi?
Yes.
Mr. Jaffe?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Cadiz?
Yes.
Chairman Lombardo?
Yes.
Thank you for your time this evening. We appreciate it.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Walter, don't leave.
As I say, don't leave Walter.
Uh-oh.
Extension.
Connor Retail.
So we want to go through the discussion for the extension before we go to the memorialization?
I think Mr. Toto would be happy to have you do that.
Let him wait a little while.
Mr. Chairman, whatever your pleasure is.
We're gonna do the, our extension. So BA 5-5201-20.
Yeah.
Your extension.
Yes, O'Connor Retail, the board granted, we bifurcated this application. We obtained use variance approval first and then site plan. We have not satisfied the conditions of site plan as of yet. We've changed project engineers sort of midstream, and that's been largely the reason for the delay. I really can't say that it's been any agency delay. It really has been the applicant's been a bit back on its heels, but are completely committed to this project.
What type of extension are you looking for?
1 year?
I think you had asked for an extension through the end of June when you initially asked for it, which would have been 3 years from the resolution.
So I can't, right, so that's my limit. Yeah, right.
Absent some delay from obtaining outside approvals, which.
I concur, Peter, that's right.
And if for some reason between now and then you find some reason for longer than that, you can always tell us the reason why.
Yeah, we're going back, sort of. Yeah, it's retroactive. So when I say a year, I don't mean to disrespect the board and try to hoodwink the board into getting me, into June of 27. It's June of 26. So yeah, respectfully, I would request an extension through June of 2026. I think we're close enough to get compliance, maybe put a shovel in the ground, hopefully. But if not, I'll be back and
we'll figure it out.
Bended knee.
Okay, board members, you heard he's looking for roughly a 2-month extension. Is there a motion to approve a 2-month extension?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Mr. Masters?
Yes.
Mr. Lupo?
Yes.
Mr. Tanzi?
Yes.
Mr. Jaffe?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Jadis?
Yes.
Chairman LaFada?
Yes.
Thank you again, I appreciate that.
And Mr. Chairman, typically with these types of applications, I prepare a resolution in advance, just memorializing, because it's pretty ministerial. I provided that to the board. I would ask that the board consider that resolution now.
Peter,
Okay,
thank you, and it was acceptable to the applicant as well.
Board members, we have a memorialization of application BA 5201-20. It's basically what we just voted on, allowing them the extension. Do I have a motion to accept the resolution?
Make a motion.
Second? Roll call, please? Or you just want to do
Masters?
Yes.
Mr. Lupo?
Yes.
Mr. Tanzi?
Yes.
Mr. Jaffe?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Jadis?
Yes.
Chairman LaFada?
Yes.
Thank you again, everyone. Peter, thank you for that.
Of course.
Done.
You got it, Walter.
Okay, board members, we have a memorialization of application BA-5264-25. Do I have a motion to memorialize? It's the Shabbat Jewish Center of Monroe. I think if anyone is here, recall, it was in reference to putting up the fence for security around the property.
I'll make a motion. Or second.
Motion to
Second.
approve.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Mr. Masters?
Yes.
Mr. Lupo?
Yes.
Mr. Tanzi?
Yes.
Mr. Jaffe?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Jadis?
Yes.
Chairman LaFada?
Yes. At this point, we'll open it to the public. Seeing there's none, can I have a motion to close the public portion? Any correspondences? A motion to adjourn? Second? All in favor?
Aye.
See you next month.